Hello and welcome to DCP Live episode number 215, the one before the big chill in the deep Stone Crypt.
How much are we gonna bet that the boss instantly freezes everybody, and then if you don't thaw fast enough, you instantly die, get sent to the Frost Realm, have to kidnap the penguins, and that's how you.
That's pretty specific, Watts.
I love it.
Great.
I wasn't planning.
What do you know?
Specific, but
Yeah.
She starts trailing off halfway through. She's like, I've said too much.
Yeah.
This is where if there happens to be a penguin in the raid, someone's gonna call me and be like, "What did you know? What did you say? Why did you say that?" I just listen.
I think that the raid boss is going to be an unnerfed warlock.
I agree with that. I think it's going to do the same thing. The raid boss is going to do to all the players what warlocks were doing to raid bosses in the other raids, and that's why they had to nerf it.
Hey, did freeze time for enemies get adjusted as well with this, or is it just warlocks?
It's just guardians and PvP.
It's just guardians.
Because that's some BS, man. When I get frozen from
You're going to get frozen for the
crap?
same amount of time, Tough Team.
Yeah, I wanted second and a half in that freaking ice crystal, man.
The boss, the boss will have some special freeze too.
True, yeah. Some special freezy pops.
Yeah, yeah.
Mercules and Riot, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you for having me. It's always fun.
Thanks for coming.
You know, it's good to. I mean, it is a low time in Destiny. Not much to talk about, right?
Right. Yeah.
We're all just biding our time until the dawning comes out, and that's when we're really
dawning. Until we get to don our new sleds and spread the glimmer everywhere. It's gonna be good. Right?
Get my new fancy jingle bell armor. I'm excited.
We got obviously a ton to talk about this week.
Yeah.
So I guess where to begin? Do we start with the seasonal stuff that just started?
Sure.
Yeah. The Crow?
Crow is pretty dope, man.
Crow is
I'm gonna
dope.
say the writing and the voice acting done for Crow is really freaking good because it's the same person, of course, who voice acts Aldrin and Crow, and the way he talks is completely different. The things he says is different. His speech pattern is different. The writing and the voice acting did a really good job of conveying that yes, this is basically a different person.
Yeah,
he's
I'm
like
not buying it.
No, he's like a shy little sad boy now who's happy to have friends.
Does he have a murderous tendency? And
No, he actually the voice line. He was like, "I wish there was a better way to deal with this than just killing things." He's like a pacifist, shy, sad, nice boy. That's the
Not buying it. I will shoot him as soon as I'm given an opportunity.
But he's being kept as a slave. They equipped a bomb in his ghost.
Serves him right.
I agree that the acting, I was surprised. I was like, damn, he did such a good job conveying a different person, or the Crow that is still connected to this Aldrin Saw that we know of. And yeah, I think that's one thing about Beyond Light is the story and the writing has just been so good for me.
It really has been.
Seeing it unfold, I've just been really pleased with how things have unfolded so far.
There's just more of that stuff in the game now. It just you get a better feel for what's going on in the Destiny universe while you're playing the game, as opposed to running through quote unquote story mode and then having to watch Mylan or Bife to figure out what actually just happened.
I think the changes to the lore UI were really big. They made it super easy to read the lore in game, which is big. And then secondarily, the new vendor interactions and the mini scenes where it's not a cutscene, you're standing there, but the vendor is acting something out. I said this the other day on Twitter, but I was like, that's huge for me. Cutscenes are cool, but they're expensive and they kind of take you out of it. They make you feel like a spectator. But when I'm still controlling my character and the Exo Stranger is talking to me in a mission the Lost Sector that I just beat, I love that more than anything. I feel like it makes me feel so involved in the story, and I actually listen to a lot of it. And like you said, the writing this season has just been incredible. I think lore-wise, this is absolutely up there with Taken King and Forsaken, and in some aspects, probably potentially better.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Right? Yeah, especially if you're a D1 player, seeing these characters come forward. I mean, yeah, just all basically Aldrin and then the stranger and have like such deep story connections come through and like start to pay off has been amazing to see in Beyond Light.
They're wrapping up threads. It felt like every expansion prior to this, it felt like they were adding like new open ends to like the game. And then this, for the first time, it feels like they're saying, you know, we've added enough new stories. Let's start to close some stuff that we've opened. So they're bringing in Zivu Arath. They're bringing in Elsie Bray and introducing her to Anna Bray and Clovis Bray. And it's, you know, they're bringing back the Spider and the Crow. I mean, it's actually kind of crazy how much stuff is going on and how well they're weaving those things together, which they haven't really done that ever in the history of Destiny. Weave multiple stories together very well, but I feel like this time they're knocking it out of the park.
With the exception of one thing, Segura. They straight up just murdered off Segura and was like, well, she's dead. You're like, what? She's dead? Yeah, she's dead. It's like, how? What? Why? Why did she die? Like, she's dead, man. Move on.
Yeah.
She did what the Traveler did for us. It was like a nice little parallel between the Traveler sacrificed itself at the beginning and blasted its light out and everything like that and pushed the darkness back, and that's what Segura did to like save Osiris. So I thought it was kind of a neat little parallel, but I think maybe in the real world, kind of like with Cade, they couldn't get her voice actor anymore. So it's like punishment. They're like, we need you to know that if you don't voice act this character, we will kill them
off screen.
Yeah. not even in a fun way. You're just gonna die.
Your death will be a footnote.
Hearsay, essentially.
People who don't read the lore drops on the Bungie website will never know what happened to your character.
I'm one of them. I didn't read. I had no idea. I was like, she's dead.
Same.
What? Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure I found out about that on Twitter.
Did you read about like the 2-drink maximum thing with Crow and his ghost and everything like that? Did you read that one at least?
No.
Where they explain that it is pulled pork and that Crow got to name his ghost when he came back, and that's why it's called Glint now.
He picked Glint. What is Glint? Oh, well,
a glint of light.
I know what the word glint means. Yeah, the glint. Yeah, I get it.
Not nearly.
That's
as
actually
cool
kind of sweet that he called it. It's not as cool as pulled pork, but glint is kind of a cute name, right?
And you're really buying into this whole Aldrin is a good guy now. I don't know.
Did you not listen to him? He's like, it feels really nice to be working with another light bearer. And I'm like, oh. And then he's like, I've heard that I have friends in the last city. And I'm like,
you do not.
Friends.
Yeah, that's me. Your friend, your buddy, your old pal.
Bro, you're pretty popular in the city.
He's going to meet Mara Sov and have the whole Luke and Leia thing going on.
Yeah.
At some point too, because I know that she's actually I don't know that she's coming back, but I assume that she's also gonna probably make an appearance soon.
She like called into Zavala's office, right, and was like, I guess I'll come back. Savathun's waiting. Ugh.
Slid right into those DMs for Zavala.
She did.
Wow. I wonder how Shax feels about that.
Why didn't she call in Shaq's office? Or talk through his little helmet thing that's Savathun's talking through.
Destiny, the Bachelorette edition. Well, I think the Crow is really cool. I think it's awesome how they've introduced it and with the seasonal content. I actually like the lure system too. I know some people have certain thoughts about the experience of it, but from what I've played of it, I didn't max out my lure and I didn't do the thing to immediately have it all completely maxed out and whatever. But I think that whole concept with the lure and picking your loot with all that, I like it.
Playing a little bit of Monster Hunter, you could say.
Mm-hmm. It makes me want more of that.
Yeah.
I actually really like that little mechanic of like having to track the thing. It reminded me of the Exodus Crash Strike, but in a million times better way, where like instead of running through those beams of light, it actually makes you feel like you're tracking something. It's just kind of a aesthetic change, but I thought in terms of my experience as a player, I really appreciated it. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, I did one. It was enjoyable. I kind of wish I could have more lure charges saved up. I think you can only have 3.
Yeah.
Unless that's something you upgrade, but it was fun. It was fine.
I do agree. Cool. Yeah, because like if you want to sit in a playlist and chill for a while, you'll max out those lures and be like, sorry, I gotta go, do
Mine's
my lures,
been maxed
guys.
for like a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one criticism with it. But I do agree the hunt thing, and is it on a different planet today? where you get those hunts? I only saw it was like the Tangled Shore and the Dream City. I don't know if it was different today or not.
I don't know, because it's all based like around the Tangled Shore and Dreaming City, right? Because so I expect that maybe it's just in those places. Apparently, if you do one on the Dreaming City, it plays the vault music from Last Wish, which is exciting.
That's cool.
I love that song.
That is really cool. Yeah, so I think the concept is awesome. I like the I like the Wrathborn concept too. With Ziva, I mean, it's kind of taken-ish, but it's fine. And in fact, it's almost like they're bringing in this whole poison decay thing with, you know,
right?
It's like,
and just like how they're like, yeah. So first of all, I will say I don't think Thorn working with necrotic grips was intended, but I'm glad that they were like, yeah, poison works with poison, obviously, clearly.
It sounds like Bungie's going to let that fly too, right?
Yeah, they said that it was intended and that it's a feature.
Oh, it is intended. Yeah.
Okay.
DMG said in a tweet that they actually said like for it to pair up, but yeah, maybe they were like, well,
it pairs. Yeah, I guess we'll keep it.
Maybe they didn't mean to make it happen in the first place, but they found it in testing and they're like, oh, that's kind of neat. Let's just leave it.
Yeah, that's totally a thing that could happen, and that again makes me feel like maybe it's the intro of a corrosion poison kind of class, which would be cool.
That would be cool.
And it's definitely something that people have been asking for a long time. Whenever there's a question on this show about like a more darkness subclasses, poison always comes up. Like it's always one of the top ones.
All we gotta do is look at Pokemon, right? You know, just figure out what Pokemon type we want to do. And I think Earth would be a really cool one. It could be kind of similar to Stasis, but a more, you know, rocky type thing, like less easily able to be shattered. But you know, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I hope
it'd be like petrifying someone with stone.
Yeah. You just throw rocks at people. You have like a slingshot, and you just like bounce rocks off their helmet.
Okay, yeah,
just kind of really bother them a little bit. Yeah,
interesting. Yeah,
I like it.
It makes
if they
really
continue down
noise.
the path of having like more interactive supers and subclasses, I do hope that they don't fall into a trap where it becomes just like a damage over time kind of thing.
Yeah,
which I expect poison would be, right?
I hope they could do something interesting with corrosion, because I hope they, maybe not every class has to stick with the 1-2 thing where it's, you know, freezing and shattering or whatever, but I do like things being a bit more intricate than just damage over time or pure damage. So I'm sure they could come up with something interesting.
Something to do with, like,
especially if you call it corrosion and not poison.
Yeah,
it'd be cool if it was a class built around debuffing things, debuff the armor of enemies so they take more damage in general across from the board.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Which would be awesome in PvP. Oh man.
Maybe.
Yeah. So with the seasonal stuff, anything else to talk about? I mean, there was some new weapons too. Did you get the breach, the launcher with the void, the new wave void launcher?
No, I haven't. Well, I got one, but it wasn't a good roll, so I haven't really used it much.
Not yet for myself.
Yeah,
but gonna get one for sure.
I'm not a grenade launcher fan. I do everything in my power to avoid grenade launchers if I can. So,
was there a particular grenade launcher that hurt you, Mercules?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a very long time, over and over again.
Show us on the doll where it hurt you.
Everywhere.
I mean, it didn't even touch me directly. It could just touch like 3 feet to the left of me, and it was still awful. So
it's sheer presence.
Yeah.
Have you noticed?
I agree with you though. I really, it's one of the things that has not been fun about the Crucible lately is the sheer, like having grenades just everywhere, grenade launchers everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Stephanie's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the problem with the Crucible lately. Definitely. But have you seen the mini mountaintops since Beyond
No.
Literally none. It's been
I really haven't.
Yeah.
Very refreshing.
I feel like I saw
I wonder
one.
if people think it was actually taken away when they meant sunsetting. They're like, oh yeah, it's
And
like
it was,
gone, so I'm not
Watts.
even
It
gonna
was.
bother. Yes, it is.
It was.
It's gone. You cannot equip it. It's impossible.
It's out of your. It's gone from your vault. Don't even look at it.
Whenever we get like a meta shift of any sort, it always takes a while to get to where it's going to be, right? It's like, it feels like it's going to happen quick. You know, it always happens within the first 2 weeks, but you would imagine that thing's going to be all over the place again, wouldn't you?
Mountaintop?
Yeah.
Mountaintop.
The in-air accuracy was a pretty big nerf. That
Yeah.
was the way a lot of people, I wouldn't say abused that like ability to have super good in-air accuracy, and you could be up looking down at someone, which means they have to be planted because there's no way that they can jump in the air and shoot you at the same time. So the fact that they really hurt that projectile accuracy in the air, I think, was a big thing. I think nobody wants to use a grenade launcher and be rooted to the ground. Like the whole shooting down at people is really strong. So the fact that they did that, I think, may have been the biggest nerf for it. But also now you have to be more accurate. And if we know one thing about mountaintop users, they're not very accurate. So I think that also hurt them.
I take personal offense. Yeah, I agree. The in-air accuracy thing definitely is rough if you're going to use that thing.
We got a pretty beefy TWAB. Do we want to just jump into it?
Yeah, because the TWAB also has the patch that came out today, right? It's got all of it in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's go through that.
They started off with the world's first verification timeline. They're talking about the raid, obviously, which is coming out in what?
Soon.
48 hours?
Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
10 a.m.
Saturday. 10 a.m.
Let's go
Saturday, 10 a.m. Whatever
Yeah.
math that is. I don't know.
So real soon. Contest mode is obviously coming back. They have they have an article. If you wanted to read the whole article of what can be found in contest mode, they have a full article about that. The contest mode will cap all players at 20 power below each encounter for 24 hours. The artificial power will be disabled during contest mode. Your team's power cap goal is 1230 for all encounters, and being above 1230 will not provide any additional advantage in the final fight.
Yep. I'm ready.
So-
ready. Good to go.
Yep.
That's pretty much how contest mode has worked in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you guys, is everybody here doing the raid day one?
Oh,
I will not be. I got to be moving, so I'm going to. Yeah, unfortunately, I won't be set up in time for it. But I plan to watch on my phone while I'm moving. Though.
yeah. Watching the world's first race is always really fun. I love watching it. I'll go back.
I'm super excited because this is the first time I'm not doing the first race. I won't be participating, so I'll be watching. Obviously, Team DCP go with it's Watts, Tefty, Fran, Jay Sniperton, Joker, and Dimitri, which is I can't wait to watch that. But also, my son is going to be doing it, and he will not be streaming himself, but his team will be streaming. So I'm going to be able to watch that too.
Oh, that's
nice.
fun.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Like I can't wait.
Briar's gonna be there behind his son with a little flag, maybe some big fingers.
Yeah, my foam rubber. You're number one.
Go.
I am actually really excited. He's been like prepping for the last 2 weeks, and today he and my wife went out to get raid snacks.
Oh yeah.
Raid
which
prep.
I was really yeah. I was actually I'm living through them this time.
This is the proud dad moment.
Totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait to cheer you guys on. It's always
really
a ton of fun to watch. Hopefully you guys get world's first again.
Yes, again for the seventh time. If I count them.
Just keep racking them up.
Yeah. We are gonna miss you, Briar. We miss the giggle. I miss the giggle, Briar.
I'm sorry, I won't be there, but I'll be.
Maybe
with
you could record
spirit.
yourself giggling, and we could just play it throughout the stream randomly.
Send you an MP3.
Yeah.
There was something else about the raid, but I've not seen it here, and I don't understand why.
Oh, they did talk about the raid, like how they're gonna call worlds first.
Right. So they say it's going to take up to 3 days or 3 days at least to call who the world's first winner is, so that they can verify.
They got to do a recount.
The runs. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Obviously, this is about
PTSD
cheating, right?
from the election. Now we have to do this for world first raids too. It's never over. But the second place team refuses to concede and claims the day.
Oh man.
I'll go there, but
Yeah, I think they said Monday, right? They hope by Monday to be able to actually announce who the winner is.
So I'm assuming the reason is because there's a lot of widespread exploitations that have happened in the PC world, and they want to take extra time to be doubly, triply sure that none of those exploitations happened in the team that gets world's first. So I think
that makes sense,
thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Usually we know who did it anyway. You know, basically because everybody's streaming it on Twitch. So
true.
You know, like, you know, the overall chat community of Twitch kind of knows when it's happened and who did it.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody will be looking for anybody using exploits, and Bungie will determine for the official raid belt who gets the official number 1 spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
They did show off the raid emblem and the parka, the raid parka.
Raid parka, nice.
Yeah, if you complete the raid
good.
by 9 a.m. on December 1st, you can unlock the Bungie Rewards Deep Stone Crypt raid jacket for purchase.
Now,
Yeah, it even comes with a little vest.
Yeah, like a liner.
Okay, so it's like the same purchase, but you do get 2 separate clothing pieces.
I think it's probably like a zip-in liner, like a zip-in vest liner.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I wonder what temperature that thing's rated for. How cold can it get in that parka?
Too cold for Florida, one way or the other. I barely wear a jacket 3 days a year around here, so
Right.
I would frame it and put it on my wall before I would ever actually end up wearing it.
There are deadlines that you need to be concerned with if you're hoping to earn your rewards. To claim the reward code, you have to do it by December 31st, and the deadline to purchase it is also December 31st.
Cool.
So be aware. Don't wait. Just get on it.
Yes.
What else we got? Oh, this was cool. This is so. There's been a lot of cheaters based on being able to do the free to play version of Destiny. People just make accounts, cheat, get booted, then make a new account and cheat some more. So now they're going to require SMS verification for your Bungie account. I think this is just going to work for PvP modes, right? So if you want to play PvP in free-to-play Destiny, then you're going to have to provide Bungie with a cell phone number, a link to your account, and put in like some kind of code that they'll send you, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So they say like they're going to require it for high stake activities, which they list as Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner, and Comp. Those are examples of the high stake activities. So if you are a free to play player, you're going to have to link and verify a phone number.
So this is like a different approach to trying to stop cheating, but it's like hopefully it's going to be an effective one, right? It's like because if you get caught cheating, your account gets banned, which is linked to a cell phone number that you have to verify. So you can't ever use that cell phone number to start another account. So I mean, even if you have a couple of cell phones, like you're going to run out of numbers eventually, right? And I guess you could get burner phones. I don't know.
There's a way to spoof phone numbers. It's never going to be like the perfect solution. If someone is a dedicated hacker and DDoSer and all that sort of stuff, like they can spoof phone numbers and get around it. But it is just another measure that will help cut back on some of the more casual cheaters. Yeah. So there are ways around it, unfortunately.
And this is mainly focused on PC, right? So console players don't really have to worry about it?
No.
So that's another reason December 10th is looking more and more attractive, man.
Right.
December 10th is the day that the next gen console versions of Destiny comes out.
Yep.
With 120 FPS in the Crucible.
And we all take a trip to Night City.
That's true.
Fingers crossed. Unless it gets delayed.
What else we got here?
I don't know if we could do the fundraising stuff after we're done with the rest of the TWAB, probably.
Okay.
We could go into Tuning the Darkness.
Warlock's got nerfed. Nothing important here.
Well, there was also PvP specific changes, which I love to see that they can actually change this specifically for PvP. This is great. Briar, hit us with the patch notes.
All right. So stasis changes. Stasis breakout damage reduced 110 to 90 HP. So anytime you get frozen, when you break out, you'll take less damage.
Yes.
They adjusted the curve that reduces breakout damage using resilience. Increase the damage reduction after resilience has so that higher tiers of resilience are more valuable. Caps out at 90 resilience.
There you go.
Okay. So you take less damage, and if you have high resilience, you take even less damage. Is that what I'm reading here?
That's actually big. I don't know if you guys have seen the testing that they've done that showed like how much of a difference it makes, but like it's huge. Like if you have max resilience, you're only taking like what looked to be like 20-25 damage into your shield bar.
Oh wow.
Compared to it cuts it down by legitimately. Yeah, it seems like 60 or 75% that it cuts it down. So, if you guys are looking for a reason to run resilience, which I always run high resilience anyways, but if you were looking for a reason to run more resilience, this is definitely it.
So could this be strategic for the raid coming up then too? Like if you think that maybe stasis will be a factor, then having high resilience might be
probably.
I actually found breaking out of ice to be more frustrating in PvE than in PvP, because in PvP you're pretty much dead if you get frozen anyways, right?
Yeah.
I very rarely am breaking out of the ice and successfully surviving. But in PvE, there were a lot of times where it was like I was frozen and then I would break out and then I get one shot by something right after I break out. So I actually started putting more resilience on to help me, in PvE, which is something I never thought I would say in my entire life. So
same.
So now we're just going to focus on warlocks. Penumbral Blast, the Stasis Warlock melee projectile speed was reduced by 20%. That's in PvE and PvP.
Yep.
Penumbral Blast, Stasis Warlock melee range reduced. It was 28 meters. It's now 16 meters. That's almost in half.
Yeah.
Winter Wrath, the super duration was reduced from 30 seconds to 24 seconds. Winter's Wrath light attack the cost was reduced 5% per burst to 4.5% per burst. And the Cold Snap Seeker speed was reduced by 23%. So all those changes are for PvE and for PvP.
Correct.
Then there's further changes to warlocks for PvP only.
Well, everyone. But
yeah,
also warlock.
Cold Snap freeze duration was lowered from 4.75 seconds to 1.35 seconds. Ice Flare bolts freeze duration was lowered, same amount. Penumbral Blast freeze duration lowered, same amount. And Winter's Wrath heavy attack, the Stasis Warlock super, no longer affects players who are not encased.
Yeah. So basically, if you're wondering, is my freezy less freezy? If your freezy is an insta freezy, it's less freezy. If it's like the Hunter melee where you have to throw 2 so you slow and then freeze, that still lasts for more time. It doesn't last for the 1.35 seconds.
Got it.
Oh yeah, it's anything that you can just throw out and instantly freeze someone. That's what is doing the 1.35 seconds.
Like the Ice Bolt nade?
The Cold Snap.
Cold Snap and Warlock melee. Yep.
I actually think
they left.
those are...
sorry, go for it.
I was gonna say, I think those are great changes. I was kind of surprised they had any abilities that weren't supers that could instant freeze you to begin with. Like I kind of thought everything would just slow you, kind of like how the Hunter one does. But I actually think these are really great changes. I played a decent amount after the patch today, and like the amount of times I got frustratingly insta frozen was dramatically less than it was before the patch.
Okay.
How does that 1.35 seconds feel? Does it feel like you're...
It's very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're normally going to die, though, when you're frozen anyway. No?
No, not at 1.35 seconds. It's pretty quick. Yeah. It's not even worth trying to break out anymore. Like, it's literally just like, oh, I'm frozen and I'm unfrozen. Like, it's about that fast. It's actually... I never thought I would say this in my life. It actually dramatically reduced the effectiveness of the Cold Snap grenades, and I think it has effectively neutered the Warlock melee to the point of being not good anymore. I think that might be controversial because I know that even myself included, I really was unhappy with how the Warlock melee was working prior to this. I think, and we'll have to see, but I think it may have been the teeny tiniest bit overkill, but I don't think anyone's going to be upset in PvP being frozen less.
Yeah. So I haven't played with the patch yet, and so I haven't experienced it in the Crucible. But looking at it, it's like it's one of these things where I definitely didn't want the Warlock to get nerfed in both sides, in PvE and PvP, because of the problems that was happening in PvP. And I'm with you on this. I thought that like the supers were going to be the ones that do the actual freezing, and any abilities that recharge weren't going to be that crazy powerful freeze thing. And having it reduced to like a second and a half, when I saw that, I was like, is that even going to be worth running that then at that point for that stuff? Because it's going to essentially just be like, you better be right in front of them to take advantage.
That's
otherwise,
the thing. Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, that's the
throw
thing
it out,
of like,
freeze, and then shotgun.
Yeah, if you're a really aggressive player, I think you could still make use of Cold Snap and the Warlock melee, but you have to be like on their ass when you freeze them, which then it actually makes it kind of hard because then you could potentially be shotgunned while you're trying to make that play. So it definitely makes it more difficult. I've had a couple situations where I threw a Cold Snap grenade because I was trying out all the grenades. I threw it like behind a door or something when I knew people were there, and then I rushed in. And it's enough time to kind of do something like that. But if you're any distance away from people, you're not making use of them being frozen. It's very tough to capitalize.
Which, to be fair, like that was pretty dumb, right? Them being frozen for 4 seconds.
I think this is a great change. Right? I think that for any ability that just you can throw out and it instantly freezes you, that freezing you for less time makes a lot of sense. If you want to make use of it, you have to be aggressive. You have to push immediately. But then if you take the time to slow someone and then turn that into a freeze, it gives you more time to get in there. I think that makes sense.
Yep, I'm pretty much in agreement. I think maybe the range got touched a little bit too much, just if you're also considering the PvE side of things. But beyond that, like slowing the speed down, cool. The freezing timing, right, going from like 4.5 seconds down to 1.35, awesome. As it was mentioned, like no longer being able to be like 20 feet away, throw a grenade around a wall, freeze them, and then close that distance, and then have them still be frozen for you to get the kill. It's more balanced for sure. This is coming from like a Shadebinder main. I think I made it halfway through a Crucible game, like when Beyond Light launched, got frozen, immediately swapped off my top 3 Dawn Blade to Stasis, and just haven't looked back. So it's been for the couple hours of Crucible I played after the patch went live, it's still powerful, but it's not an oops I win button on like a minute long cooldown that I get 2 of. 1 grenade, 1 melee.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I can agree. So looking at the changes for Warlock specifically, I would have even I think the super being reduced makes sense. I think I've died like 3 times to that damn super. Someone will pop it once. I think I've died 3 times to it.
From one super?
Yeah. 30 seconds is a long ass time. That's a long time. I think the changes to Stasis overall, and then also bringing the range in and the projectile speed might have been too much at once. I think the range could have even been left alone with that 1.35 seconds because they have such a short time to capitalize on that melee that I think we probably would have found ourselves significantly less frustrated just with the overall changes. For that,
especially with them having to use the power hit, the up in the air to make it snap when they're frozen. Like you have a pretty small window now with the Shadebinder to do that, right?
Oh, for the super?
Wait, is the super also?
Well, the super should be the original length.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Original.
I didn't realize that. I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah, more so just the melee. I think they maybe did a bit too much on the melee. So I'm hoping that if people come out and they're like, okay, look, the super was completely warranted. We get it. We understand like these changes to how long we're frozen, but the melee is not feeling great. I'm hoping they can change it quickly, seeing as this came like a week later, which is insane.
Yeah,
I think that's part of the story, right? Is how fast this happened.
I think we should be careful to assume that any future patches will be this quick. I have a very strong feeling that this patch was in the works and was planned to go before this whole thing happened. Like I think they in their internal, because obviously they have to certify an expansion earlier than they have to certify like their day one patches and their week one patches and stuff like that. So they probably certified the expansion, shipped it, and then continued to play test. And they were like, hey, Shadebinder's pretty busted. They probably had this patch in the works before Beyond Light even released. That's why they were able to hit this so quickly.
I can confirm that's not the case. A lot of these changes were like last week that they were put together and finalized. They definitely needed to do a patch for fixing the Warlock Super. Like that needed to go quickly. Yeah. And I think the reason why we got this so quick, because I think they probably would have preferred for people to get some more aspects or something before they started nerfing classes specifically. But because they had to push that patch live for the raid, it made sense that they also put these changes in there, because then you're, pushing out patches is expensive.
The Wither Horde also got brought back in this patch, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
you can equip it.
And the Warlock Super, it was the infinite super glitch that was the catalyst for getting this patch out so fast.
The insta melting bosses.
Right?
Yeah.
But they have one Warlock freeze them, and then all the rest just detonate the boss and go from 100 to 0 health in 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but back to the changes in the Warlock, though. Do you guys think it was warranted on the PvE side? All those adjustments, like the 30 seconds to 24 seconds, right? Or 26, whatever it was. Like that makes sense on that side. But the adjustments to all the little other nuances to that super in the PvE side.
Yeah, I think you have to, right? Because you can't have a projectile that you're used to traveling at a certain speed have two different speeds, right? You could definitely change like how long the freeze duration is, but like if it feels different, like that's always been Bungie's thing, is they don't want it to feel different from PvE to PvP. They don't want your character to feel different. It's the same character going from PvE to PvP. But so like if your projectiles are moving slower or they go further, like you're going to get used to that and it's going to feel different in PvP.
So I totally get that, but does it feel doo-doo in PvE? That projectile speed.
Has anyone used the new Warlock stuff in PvE, PvP? Both?
No, I'm clean.
I think the range nerf is probably the biggest drawback in PvE and in PvP for it. Honestly, like if I had one change to do in the patch, I probably would not have done that, because combined with the other things, it seems a bit overkill. You got to think that from 0 to 7 meters, you're not even going to throw that projectile. You're going to do your standard punch melee, right? Because you're so close to a target. So you only have a 10-meter range where you're actually going to be able to hit a target with it. And that little ball just kind of puffs into the air if it goes outside of that thing. So it's it's 100% useless outside of that. So I think that probably sucks for PvE, because it was a great melee for PvE. So I think that's kind of a bummer. But the variable speed, Briar's right. You can't have a melee go super fast in PvE and then super slow in PvP. You can change the freeze time, because freeze times are already variable based on the type of enemy that you're hitting. Right? Bosses, yellow bars, red bars, they all freeze for different durations anyways, Guardians. So that's not a big deal. But yeah, I mean, as much as people say they want to see a different PvE and a PvP sandbox, they actually really don't. It would be, extraordinarily frustrating to have, attacks and guns and things playing dramatically different in half the game and then playing a whole other way in the other half of the game. It would basically divide the populace into who plays PvP and who plays PvE, because you'd have to relearn the feel going into a different thing. So
do you think that they should have just kept it then the way it was before, but have a super fast freeze time? So maybe even less than a second and a half, let's say 1 second. So you do get froze, but then you're out of it super quick.
Honestly, I think just slowing the projectile speed, it gives people a lot more time to react to it when you see it coming. I mean, my biggest thing was that it was so fast that I would see them cast and I'd be frozen. And I could be mid hunter dodge and I'd still be frozen, right? Yep. Slowing the projectile speed, I think, was probably enough. And, they could have chopped the freeze time in half. I actually think maybe chopping the freeze time is a bit more. But like I said, it's PvP. Nobody wants to be frozen in PvP. It's never, ever fun on the side of the person who is frozen to stop moving. But at the same time, I played 7 or 8 games. And, prior to this patch, I was getting hit by it multiple times every single game from multiple players. Yeah. And I saw it once in 7 games. So I think it may have.
Did you just dodge it?
The person just missed. I mean,
yeah, they just missed. Yeah,
I don't know if it was because it was slow and they weren't used to it, but I literally saw them do it and they just missed me. So it was.
Yeah, because prior I was
I agree with that.
Yeah, prior if I saw them and they're looking at me and they throw it, I'm frozen, and then I'm dead because there's no getting out of that. It's just I hate it when they overcorrect, and like I feel like the PvE side really needs to shine for these things because it's that space fantasy. Like you have this crazy warlock wizard thing going on, and it definitely needs to maintain that experience right there. But on the flip side, the PvE or the PvP side was super obnoxious where it was before.
Well, I'm sure Bungie is listening, so hopefully, like if the feedback comes back that like we like the the time to freeze, but we'd like more range on this. I mean, they've mentioned that it's a lot easier to make these changes, right? So, Mercules is right. You still got to go through the certification process, but at the next round, like if people are vocal about it, maybe we can get somewhere in the middle where it doesn't affect PvE as much, but it's still an effective nerf in PvP.
I think giving the range its range back would be totally fine because exactly like Merc said. I think I said to Tomo right when I experienced playing against it in PvP, and I'm like, well, the issue is one, it instantly freezes you, and they're the only class that can do that with their melee. But I can't see it. I can't like play around it. If I could see it coming, I could dodge it, and then that's your way of playing around it. Is that it's kind of slow and you can dodge it. So I think getting the range back. Plus, with the general freeze changes, and keeping the slow of how slow it is, I think I like that. I think that would be much better. I think it can then have that range.
It just seems like they should change it to slow. It's like slow would have been the answer. You just, it goes fast, but you get hit and you're slowed down. It's like, all right, well, at least you can react with your gun still. So there's like a counter. Having this like instant freeze from such a easy melee, and then then they nerf it hard, and then PvE sucks with it. I don't know.
Well, I think they thought that the Hunter Shuriken was just like flat out better than it if all it did was slow, because the Shuriken slows you and it tracks, and you can like bounce it off of walls and stuff, and it bounces between targets. Yeah. So I mean, my thing would have been like, well, give it a bigger area of effect then, right? So like the Shuriken still, even though it bounces and it tracks, you still have to hit the person. So like make the Warlock, if all it's going to do is slow you, then give it like a big area of effect or something. It's like throwing a snowball, and when it splashes, it slows you down. I mean, I think they could have probably tried something like that. I think they probably did try something like that. Like we don't know what iterations it went through. It's very possible that early on it did slow and they felt that it just wasn't impressive enough. But the problem is now it is strong, but the freeze is so weak and the range is so weak that its usefulness is so limited that there's going to be a very small subsection of the population who can probably still use it effectively.
Interesting.
Last week we talked a lot about weapons and kind of loot, and how it seemed like there was a real lack of loot in the game. And this week they have addressed that. On November 24th, we're getting another hot fix, and they are going to make some changes to the loot pool. They're removing all legendary weapons that have hit their infusion cap at the end of this season. All of the 7th Seraph weapons from Season 10 are getting added. They're also adding all the Season 11 seasonal and planetary reprisal weapons and weight drop chances. Newer weapons have a stronger chance of dropping than older weapons.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Good. This is a fantastic change, because that just regular world drop chance of stuff was just starved. And a lot of people would come and be like, hey, how do I get that cool Seraph weapon that you're making those War Mines cells with? I'm like, you can't.
You can't.
Fuck you, that's how.
Should have been playing a year ago, bruh.
How many weapons is this? It seems like a fair number.
I don't know.
Does anyone have actual mathematician numbers on Mathematica? We have the Mathematica. How many is this?
It's funny. I was talking about this in the stream last night and saying how, like, why didn't they just put the stuff from the previous seasons in? And that would like fill out all these options for loot. Like, yeah, it would have been better to get it back then because you could have targeted it, but now like it's random, and then they did it.
That's good.
Definitely a good change.
Yeah. I do think it's it's a long-term problem though for Destiny. It's like there's got to be loot. Like there's got to be stuff to earn.
Yeah. I don't know. This is one of these things where I keep going back and forth now. It's like, well, maybe Destiny isn't quite a looter shooter anymore. You know, like maybe it's secondary a looter and it's first the space fantasy, you know, creating like a
MMO.
Yeah, like the action MMO, create a space wizard type of thing. And then the loot is kind of like second, or the legendary loot. The exotic loot has always been super desirable and really awesome for the loot side, but you obviously don't have an endless stream of exotics happening every season.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I could be wrong. I think it's 13 weapons total. I think it's 6 7th Seraph guns and then 7 weapons from the season 11 pool.
Okay. Well, it's better than what it is now. Yeah.
And the 7th Seraph weapons are, you know, big. That's pretty nice to get those back in because those are actual good guns that have usefulness in in-game builds and stuff like that with those unique Warmind perks. But
I wonder if they'll keep those Warmind perks.
I would hope so.
Probably.
I would hope so.
Yeah, it'd be a little weird if they were like, we forgot that.
That's nearly like a 50%.
Yeah, get rid of the perk.
That's nearly like a 50% upgrade in how many weapons are now available, right? Oh, well, no, because they're taking some legendary weapons out.
Yeah, they probably took about 7 out. I bet that's probably, you know, I bet it's an additional net of 6 probably from what we had before. I bet the world weapons that they removed were just straight up replaced with the season 11 world weapons, and then the 7th Seraphs were added, so it's probably a net gain of 6 maybe.
Okay. So that's not today. That's obviously November 24th. So next week, you know, it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in the TWAB we want to talk about?
There's a lot of known issues and hotfix stuff and all that stuff. People could probably just read that if they want. There's a lot of known bugs. So maybe read that yourself.
It's kind of leaking right now. There's a few, you know, things leaking out of Destiny.
Yes.
One thing that I think is actually relatively important. I don't know how many people listen to this podcast it actually pertains to, but PC migration from BattleNet is going to end soon on December 1st. You're not going to be able to recover your BattleNet. So I don't know, like if you haven't played since then, you might want to log in real quick just to migrate that account over.
Yeah.
Been waiting the whole year, putting off the entire time. Been like, man, it's just not the right time. The pandemic going on and all. Can't migrate my account yet.
Yeah. Like FYI, you don't want to lose that, right?
Yeah, definitely don't lose it.
Yeah.
You know, I could see like maybe I don't know why that would happen. Maybe you were playing on PS4 all year. I don't know.
But you still want the Blizzard account if you've been playing on PS4?
No, well, you want to get it out of there. You want to get your Destiny account out of there and moved over to Steam. Right?
Yeah, I think. Probably best to do
Listen,
it.
just move your damn account, okay?
Yeah,
if
move it over.
Move it over to Steam.
Damn account.
Yep.
Even if you're not planning on playing on PC anytime soon, if it's still on Blizzard BattleNet, move it out of there. Maybe something will change in the future. You don't want to lose it.
Yep.
The only other thing in the TWAB, which is definitely worth mentioning, is the Game to Give 2020 fundraising campaign, which they're calling Light Keepers. So the Bungie Foundation says that they're gearing up for their second annual Game to Give charity event in support of the Bungie Foundation and Children's Miracle Network hospitals benefiting sick kids around the country. We invite the Bungie community to join us in celebration of what we can accomplish together through games and giving. So starting today, they're inviting all of Bungie community members to sign up to host your own fundraising stream. So you can be a large streamer, you can be a small streamer, you can whoever you are, you can sign up to host your own fundraising stream. So between December 1st and December 13th, you can do that.
That's cool.
Yeah, so you can just sign up, you can run your own stream, and you can all put money together for the Bungie campaign to raise money. Also,
there's prizes too.
There is, yeah. They said that we have some incredible prizes for you all at various fundraising milestones. So at $500, you receive a code for you or your friend to unlock the Lightkeeper's emblem in Destiny 2, and you get entered to win the Game to Give streamer bundle, including a game capture card, HD webcam, and a studio lighting kit. It's pretty crazy.
Nice.
If you raise $1,000, you include all of the previous fundraising milestones, plus you're entered to win one of 5 Xbox gaming consoles, Xbox One gaming consoles, and entered to win one of 5 PlayStation 4 gaming consoles and headsets for both of them. So, if you raise $2,500, you get all of the things before. You get an exclusive Game to Give 2020 mousepad, and you
That's
earn a
it right there.
That's the mousepad.
Got to get that mouse pad, man.
Mousepad hype.
And you earn a place on the Game to Give 2020 Lightkeepers poster hung at Bungie headquarters. That's pretty cool. You get to have your name right there in front of the devs forever. And then if you raise $5,000 or more, you get everything before, plus you get exclusive limited edition Game to Give 2020 jersey from MetaThreads, receive a physical copy of the Game to Give 2020 Lightkeepers poster, and be among the first to own the secret VIP Game to Give 2020 emblem, which will be released in 2021.
That's cool, man. Doing something good for kids and getting some cool stuff in the process.
Exactly.
Heck yeah.
What's not to love?
Not sure how well it'll show up, but so is the mousepad from last
That's
year.
the mouse pad?
Yeah.
That's
Isn't
awesome.
that cool?
Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
cool.
that's a
I love
really
this one.
awesome mousepad.
Wow. Very cool.
So on Giving Tuesday, December 1st at 10 a.m. Pacific, we'll be kicking off a 24-hour streaming marathon with some of your favorite influences from a variety of channels, including Twitch and Facebook Gaming. We'll have featured live streams taking place throughout the entire 2-week campaign. And they have some donation incentives. So if you don't want to host your own stream and you just want to donate money to an awesome cause, if you give $25, it will earn you the 2019 Miss Blossom emblem and the Gilded Shell Exotic Ghost Shell, which that shell is on the mousepad. So if you don't know what it looks like, Riot
Can you show that mousepad again?
Riot's got the hookup with what that ghost looks like. That is the ghost that you can get.
Oh, man. People with that ghost shell are like proven to be 13% sexier. That is science fact.
A $50 donation will earn you the above items plus the new Lightkeeper's emblem, which I'll say looks pretty cool. It's got some like embers on it. It looks good. And then a $100 donation will earn you all of the items above and will enter you to win an item from the Bungie prize pool. Prizes include GameStop/EB Games gift cards, US and Canada only, Destiny 2 Beyond Light Digital Deluxe Editions, Destiny 2 Beyond Light Physical Deluxe Editions. And of course, 100% of the donations go directly to the charities. All in-game digital incentives will be automatically redeemed via the Donor's Bungie ID. So this is really cool. I love that Bungie is really heavily involved in charity things, and they always do a really good job with it.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can raise a bunch of money this year.
Mm-hmm.
Are the donation incentives just for the 24-hour live stream from Bungie, or is that if you go to any of the participating live streams?
Should be any of them.
Any of them.
For like the $50 donation.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because they can track everyone because it's all going to the same place. So they can track everyone who's doing that. They also have partnered with an online fundraising platform, Omaze. I would say it's probably called Omaze. Gamers from around the world can enter for their chance to win $20,000 to create the ultimate gaming rig and support this fundraising.
That's not enough.
20,000? Not enough.
That's not enough for the ultimate gaming rig.
Well, probably
you got
not
your gaming
for
PC,
the
your
ultimate...
streaming PC, and your capture PC. You know?
Yeah.
Listen, it's not enough for the ultimate trust fund baby gaming rig. We understand. We get it. We need at least $40,000.
At least. That's just covering the gas money in the Ferrari to go pick it up.
Yeah. That's half a Mac Pro.
Right? That's awesome. Like I gotta say, if Bungie ever makes a emblem or pin with the Lightkeeper's emblem on it, which is like a torch with the little heart in the middle, sign me up for that too. Just that's free money coming right at you. I love when Bungie does this charity stuff. This is great.
Really cool.
It's such a feel good community kind of thing.
It is. Yeah. It's great.
Twitter questions.
Yeah.
Twitter.
Let's do it. Nothing else to happen, right, this week? Aside from just getting ready for the raid?
Hotfix, raid ready.
Actually, Riot, how's your raid prep going?
It's been nice actually. I've really appreciated the 10-day gap between expansion launch and the actual raid. Like, this is really the first time I've actually been able to really play, and play to have fun and not just have like a set schedule every day, not be on for 10 hours or really maximum optimization. It's been really enjoyable.
Yeah,
I think it's a responsible decision by Bungie, to be honest with you. Like, instead of having 3 days of streamers absolutely killing themselves, all gamers, not just streamers, all gamers killing themselves to get into there, like, to have a week also in combination with contests where you can only level up so much where it's going to matter. I'm sorry, I think it's just the responsible decision by Bungie. You know, it puts player health above like kind of the hype machine of the 3-day raid.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think you're going to see more engagement this raid race than probably any raid that they've seen before. I mean, I know teams that have never done a day one raid before in our Discord that are organizing day one raid teams just because, you know, contest mode, like you said, makes it to where you don't have to worry about getting over that limit, right? Like, you can kind of just get to it. You don't have to try to get to like your absolute highest pinnacle. And then secondarily, they had time. So they're not taking 6 days off work trying to do all this stuff. And then also it's happening on Saturday, which is nice. You know, the time's not great for everyone worldwide, but for a lot of people who work standard schedules, especially in the United States and Europe, it's like, cool. Like, this is the weekend for me. I can actually play. It's not a Tuesday morning or a Friday morning. Like, I can actually do this. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the biggest day one raid participation they've had in a while.
Agree. Yeah.
I completely agree. Yeah. This has been, and just a breath of fresh air to be able to play Destiny and not feel like I'm stressed out trying to make sure I get everything done, trying to get ready to feel like, oh crap, I'm going to be behind. It's like, I've been able to take my time, enjoy the content, and have that perspective of like, well, I just got to make sure I get my stuff ready and the build's ready. How's the builds going for you, Riot? Do you have anything in particular?
That I honestly,
that a secret?
Not even necessarily a secret.
That's a tier 1. I'm not telling you.
I wish. I need to, like, tomorrow I'm gonna have Lethal pull me aside and tell me what I'm running. Basically, he'll be in charge. I'll point and shoot at things, but
that's what we do with Dimitri. Like, Dimitri, what do I need? Please tell me. I'll just, what do you want me to use? I'll throw it on. I'll level it up. It's fine. Just I don't want to think about it.
But what's amazing is you can actually do that. You have like a whole day tomorrow to be able to to like theory craft some possibilities for going into the raid the following day. So it's like, it's a good experience right now.
It's so different because before it's like, you know, you're going into the raid, you're like, oh man, it would be really nice to have some blues that are on level that I can infuse if I need to. But you're kind of, when you go into the raid, you might have 2 builds ready to go if you're lucky, and then you're just kind of scrounging around, like putting in exotic into exotic, and this time is a lot different. It feels like you can really prepare for the day one raid. It's been great.
Twitter questions.
Let's do it.
Duo Shade says, what should I spend my exotic cipher on first? Teraba, Anarchy, or Whisper?
Anarchy. Hands down.
Doughboy says, which will happen first? Will Arc, Solar, and Void get the stasis treatment where they feel like more than just a color? Or will we lose them and use only darkness burns? Is 6 elements too much at once?
Dude, what do you guys think of this whole like theory that we're gonna lose our light at the end of like the 3-year cycle or whatever?
On Lightfall.
Lightfall, where like suddenly all our light classes are going away. Do you
Traveler just takes off?
Yeah, that's when the Traveler pieces out.
They're going to Destiny content vault them, and they're going to put them away and then bring them back. I mean,
then the Traveler will come back.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they give us another 2 full subclasses that are as fleshed out as Stasis is, I don't know it. I mean, people are obviously going to complain, right? But I think I could probably deal with that as long as there was like, you know, we're Destiny content vaulting these so that we can give them the Stasis treatment, and then we're going to bring them back as fully fleshed out light subclasses as well. I'd see that. If they're just like, hey, you're losing 3 subclasses forever, now you're all dark, I don't know that I would be in favor.
The messaging, if the messaging is clear, like what you just said, Mercules, I think that goes over fairly well, actually. And I could even see when they come back, maybe you have to make a choice, like between light and dark.
Like you wouldn't be able to have both.
Zavala's forcing us to do that already. We're just cheating.
Zavala's a cop.
Let's just kill Zavala and then take her. Remember this.
Zavala, I'm moving out. You can't control me if I'm not under your house.
Right.
I will
You're not my
Moving in with
father.
the crow in the basement.
Yeah.
I honestly would feel really weird if they took away light classes at the end of whatever cycle and they were like vaulted it for a while. I'd feel very conflicted about that.
At that time, those classes will be 9 years old.
Well, and that's also wouldn't be until Lightfall, right? Which is still 2 more full years from now. I'm assuming, probably wrongly, but maybe not, that each major expansion. I don't know why I'm assuming this. There's no evidence for this at all, but like that we're going to get another darkness subclass with the Witch Queen and then another darkness subclass with Lightfall. Right?
That's what I'm assuming too.
Yeah.
We're all assuming that. That's how dreams are shattered.
Yeah. There's no reason for us to assume
actually the next subclass is Shattered Dreams.
No, it's the reason why we assume it
all
is
it does
because
is it comes to your house. It says you're never going to be financially independent. Your student loans will last forever, and you're always going to work for someone else. And then it leaves.
Damn,
that's the true darkness right there.
It's called depression. That subclass. God damn.
The
reason why.
Say that though.
Yeah, well, I was going to say the reason why I think it's, the reason why psychologically we see that is because when we click on the darkness subclass, we get Stasis. It's just got one little thing. We're like, well, that's incomplete. Of course they got to add more to that, because then you click the light one, you get the nice 3 options right there.
I'm pretty sure someone from Bungie all but confirmed that there will be more darkness subclasses.
Yeah.
I think it was like some like interview somewhere. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was basically confirmed.
Yeah, this was the first, not the last. Something along those lines.
I do feel like sometimes we as a community wish something so hard that we just accept that it's going to happen. Competitive PvP, for instance. Sometimes we just want it to happen so hard. We're convinced it's the only path forward.
That was the first thing the darkness took from us, was competitive PvP.
Turns out the darkness ain't so dark.
Yeah. You know what I could see happening going forward? Instead of them actually stripping the light completely, because I really don't see that like as a character arc, is us losing the light completely. What I could see is them revamping. You know how we have Blade Barrage and Gunslinger? It's like they do some sort of like, you've been rebirthed and now you have a newish type of like gunslinger.
Can I come out the Traveler's Womb?
Yeah. You get birthed to the Traveler's Womb.
I just want to see my hunter squeezing out.
Yeah, that's where all that radiolarian fluid went. Huh? Who's stuck with it?
Fresh King says, is there going to be another raid race watch from DCP? Love them so far. No, there's not.
No.
Sadly, no.
Pope left.
But we've heard enough requests for this. It's a little too late for us to get it organized this time around. But I think I'm personally committed to making it happen next time. So
yeah, definitely. It was a weird time because Pope left. He's been gone for a while, but ultimately it hasn't been super long for us kind of completely taking over. Pope was our dad, and now we're learning to be parents, and
it's hard.
It's hard.
Pope was a traveler, and he moved away. And now we're learning to deal with our polite.
It's true. Yeah, and Mav, she had a baby, so she can't do it this time around. Bless is with his wife, and he was also there. So there's basically we lost all of the people who were doing the raid race for us. So it was really difficult to put it all together at once with all of that happening. But next year we'll be in a much better spot to actually set it up way ahead of time. So something I definitely want to do. It was super cool the last time it happened.
This year in particular is a very busy year with all like the new Destiny or the new console release, next gen type of stuff that's been going on just in general.
Yeah. It's just it's a fun thing to do. So we're definitely bringing it back. We're sorry we missed a year. We'll bring it back.
Yep.
Veritas Otis 52 says, do you think developers take YouTube and Reddit into consideration when developing a game?
Of course. I mean, you can't block it out entirely. I don't think they develop based around what Reddit wants or what YouTube wants, but developers listen to social media and they listen to YouTube videos and they read Reddit and they see what it is. I don't think they go on Reddit and they're like, oh, what should I develop today? Oh, this is Reddit's #1 complaint. And then they build that. But
but they see the feedback for sure. I mean, Bungie's developers are pretty active on Reddit.
Extremely. Which I'm amazed at, because sometimes DTG is the most unbelievably, toxic cesspool. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes they're okay, but sometimes it's really, they'll like harp on a subject to the point of just beating it into the ground. There's no longer a dead horse. There's just like a puddle on the ground, and and
Glue.
It really blows my mind how much they can do that. But I mean, that's where I came from. I came up on Reddit, and that's where I started doing the spreadsheets and the post. And there's Cosmos there, and DMG's there, and Deej back in the day was there. I mean, they absolutely 100% read it, even if they're not always commenting. But you can't just listen to Reddit. Reddit doesn't always know what it wants. Reddit is a weird hive mind that upvotes random stuff sometimes and doesn't really know what's actually best for the game or best for the players. But
yeah.
Joe says, can we agree the best changes that Beyond Light gave us were patrols activating almost instantly when you interact with them?
But
that's
they
a nice
made
change.
them more
The best
specific, though.
they did, right? Like some of the kill everything one is a little more, takes longer than it used to.
They do respawn. So if you pick up the kill everything thing, and you complete it, it will give you another kill everything one.
Yeah,
which
that's
is really nice.
But it's not just kill everything anymore. It's like
no, it's kill everything with
headshots.
precision hits.
Yeah.
Or
melees,
abilities.
headshots. Yeah.
Which you can just punch, by the way. Just punch.
Yeah.
Fawn says, I know the loot pool is still pretty dry, but what are some of your favorite new perks that we've got? I've been just enjoying Wellspring on my Friction Fire and Double Loader on my Xenoclast.
Chain reaction on my grenade launcher. That is badass. I freaking love it.
I haven't gotten that. What's it do?
It's Firefly, but for grenade launcher.
Oh.
Rocket launchers have it too.
Oh.
Yeah, rocket launcher too, but like
pretty big explosion too.
Yeah.
So every enemy you kill, that's very right. Every enemy you kill blows up at a secondary explosion as well.
Yeah.
That sounds lovely.
Shoot it into a crowd of dregs, they all explode.
I personally prefer any perk that tanks my frame rate. Those are my favorite.
It's not, at least it's not like Firefly where it would crash you all the way back to the home screen or whatever.
Oh no, I'm not complaining. I like it. I really do. I like the explosions.
Boom so hard it crashed the game.
Broccoli Rob says, if you could choose the second darkness subclass, what would you choose? He gives some examples: Siva, Soulfire, Poison, etc.
I do really like corrosion and poison. Maybe curses. Like you can manipulate the minds of your enemies.
How about YouTube comments? Right? It is the darkest of the soul of the classes.
It's the Reddit subclass.
The Reddit subclass. And all it is just people screaming at you. It doesn't actually it doesn't actually do anything in game. It's just in your headphones, people screaming at you.
Oh, maybe when we get the next subclass, they can truly take advantage of 3D audio, so you can just have voices all around you.
Yeah. Like Hellblade.
Yeah, Senua Sacrifice.
Yeah. Yes.
Anybody got any real answers?
I think Poison's probably the most likely, it seems. We have Thorn, we have Necrotic Grip. Le Monarch kind of has a similar DOT tick to it. That's explained as nanites, I think. But, I think something like that's realistic.
Yeah, something that expands even on like Malfeasance as a hand cannon. Stack up and then just a burst of corruption. I actually don't know what that perk is exactly doing.
I do like that, actually. Taken, boy.
Taken.
See now, do you think Taken
subclass would be cool?
A Taken subclass where we get so many blinks. Turn me into a captain. Bring it on.
It kind of seems like the obvious one, right? Like a Taken subclass is like it goes back to the D1.
Oryx comes back as a guardian, and he teaches us Taken powers.
By something named pork chop?
Pulled chicken.
Pulled
Sliced
chicken.
brisket. Sliced brisket. Yeah.
Because what someone was saying in my chat, I'm a lore master, but I'm not a lore master. All right. Someone was saying in my chat about how the Taken ability came from the same place of the Stasis ability and all that, like some book or something.
The darkness.
No, there's like a specific name for like where these powers are pulled from or something.
Book of Sorrows. That's about as far as my lore goes. I have no idea if that's actually it.
I don't know, the Ascendant Realm. I thought the Worms gave
The
Oryx,
Worms.
they like taught him how to do this, and then that's how he figured it out.
Hmm.
But I mean, is it all linked to the Ascendant Realm? I don't know if that's specific to the darkness or that's specific to the horror.
Yeah, that's what I don't know.
We need
I don't know if
someone on here.
Like the question is Taken true darkness ability, or is it just like is it like what was it? Siva, like manufactured somehow.
Taken is like upscaled 4K and Stasis is actual 4K.
It's 8K.
There you go.
60 FPS. 8K.
Even the new Mac can't render that.
We should tell Mylan this new lore. He'll be excited.
Right.
Yeah, we should enlighten Mylan about this.
Darthrodana says, with the changes to Stasis and PvP separate from PvE, what other things can Bungie do to tune PvP separately? Good answers. Good answers.
I mean, what really is an issue right now in PvP outside of Stasis, which is all encompassing? What really is an issue right now in PvP that would need to be tuned so hard that you couldn't affect it in PvE, right? Like, I don't know that there's
Scout
anything.
rifles. Well, that's the other way around. If you buff them too much in PvP, it could ruin everything. Buff them too much, PvE is great.
They've shown that they can modify individual damage numbers for weapons pretty easily for PvE and PvP, so I don't necessarily know that we even have that issue anymore. I don't think there's any abilities or like supers that, would demand that type of treatment outside of Stasis right now.
Nothing's coming to mind.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
Reginald says, with some time with Stasis, do you think we need some reworking of the subclasses? Hunter Super feels like it should have been a roaming super with Ice Tornado and then throwing things as you go.
I don't want any more roaming supers, man. Come on now. We have like so many roaming supers and they're all so overpowered compared to stuff we've had in the history of D1. Like, I am happy to have one-off supers at this point in time. Both the Titan and the Warlock are roaming supers. Yeah. I don't want a third roaming super.
And then I get to sit there and go, Tornado, buddy, go. You can do it. And then he just sits there and doesn't do a damn thing. It's like, God, there's stairs. What do you want from me? I can't go upstairs. Impossible.
It's like at 209.
I actually think it's pretty effective in PvP. Like, it's great for taking down a target if you need to. Like, it's a good emergency button, and it's also a good zone control type of super.
I think
it's a good, I'm in the sky, please shoot my face.
I think people focus a lot on the fact that they think that they have to be chained together. Like, you can throw the freezing orb one place to stop something, and then you can throw the tornado someplace else for like area control. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, like, I almost never see that happen in PvP. Like, I almost always see them throw the freezing thing and then throw the tornado right into it, right? But like, you as a hunter, if you're up in the air and you throw the freezing thing underneath you, and then you throw the tornado somewhere else, you can then skybomb down and shatter anyone who's underneath you. Like, you don't need the tornado to kill all those people, right? So, it's better than the Vortex Nova Bomb for area denial. Like, you can put it on a capture point and give yourself like 30 seconds of control over that capture point with no one doing it. So
true.
I really like that super. So a lot of people are like, I don't know, because they were wanting to be a warlock, freeze and everything. And I was like, outside of the warlock, I think that super's pretty badass,
we got to talk about who you're hanging out with, Tefty. Sounds like you're making some bad decisions. Doughboy says, do you think Bungie will take advantage of the adaptive feedback triggers on the PS5 controllers, and will it work also on PC? If it does, I think it's worth the development time.
PC, based on what we've seen so far, it doesn't seem like the games that are on PC and PS5 are making use of haptics.
Yeah, that's going to be hard, right?
In general, to be honest.
Like, eventually, the PS5, I think the PS5 controller does work on PC, right? Like, you can get it to work, but
you can use it.
You're going to have to go into the game and program the game to take advantage of that. And I don't see that happening. On the PS5, do you think Bungie will take advantage of it, though?
Not anytime soon, I wouldn't think.
No?
That's unfortunate.
I don't think so.
I'd really like to feel an SMG in the controller, and then feel
I would
a sniper
love
rifle.
to.
Yeah.
Or like a sword. You have that like heavy. type of
Or even
feel in
those
the
new
controller.
storms, man. Those new storms, you can feel that in the controller. Because playing Astro Playroom, you can feel storms in the controller, which is really cool. So I would love them to do that. But I think that might even be something that have to outsource for someone else to work on that. Maybe maybe they can talk to someone at Sony and be like, hey, please help me.
I also think the force feedback, the adaptive feedback trigger specifically, like if you start using those like on a weapon that you fire 2,000 times in a play session, like that's gonna get old quick. I feel like, you know,
Maybe. Depends on how good it
like
is.
it's gonna literally get tiring.
Right. I mean, the force feedback is one thing though. Like they don't need to go full on force feedback with all that stuff, but like having the haptic, the high tune,
the rumble, like the high definition rumble.
Yeah, like if you're standing in a vortex or a grenade or like a stasis nade, if you can actually feel that storm, and it gets more and more intense as you get closer to the freezing point from the rumble pack, and then it's like you feel the crystalline freezes in the controller from that. That'd be pretty dope, right?
Yeah. I think one of the reasons it's so successful in Astro's Playroom is because it's so brief. Right? It's like you're in a level for you're doing a specific activity for like 3 to 5 minutes, and then you're on to the next thing. So it never has that chance of being like tiring or like overkill.
Mm-hmm.
But like people are complaining right now in the Call of Duty world that they did implement the triggers to have like kind of a click to them, and people are kind of complaining about it already.
They gotta do finger workouts.
Yeah,
little barbells, you know.
Mm-hmm. Sunlicker says, with Stasis being the most dominant subclass in the game by quite a bit, is Destiny's PvP a pay-to-win meta right now? Like,
no.
You mean pay for the game?
Yes, that's what they mean.
Well, yeah, you got to pay for the game, man.
You still have top tree Dawnblade, and you still have middle tree
Sentinel,
Stalker.
bottom tree, middle tree Night Stalker, bottom tree Striker, bottom tree Hammers. There's options. Top tree Stormcaller.
If all those light subclasses get Destiny content vaulted, then you can complain about it. But
you're just like a regular dude.
You get nothing. You get that the very first D2 story mission where you're walking around with a broken sidearm and no double jump. That's what you get.
That would be hilarious.
I always thought that they should do a PvP tournament that was all white armor and white weapons and unleveled characters. So it was like all you get is what the game gives you, and this is the closest to Halo you guys will ever get. So
yeah, right.
Tom says, what do you guys think about the new Stasis nerf for Warlocks, and why is it good? Big fan of the show, but Briar is the best looking one. Oh, I agree, Tom.
Tom was like, how do I get my question read?
I think we kind of talked about this, right? So we can move on.
Yeah, pretty much.
I haven't even played Stasis Warlock, so who am I?
Tagaher says, what is the funniest interaction of Stasis in the sandbox you've seen?
Oh, I froze someone mid-dodge and they just have like their butt in the air. That's great. That's wonderful. I love that. You get to freeze people in really weird positions, or like mid-sword swing. All of those random freeze times that you get on people is always really funny. Gives me a giggle.
Yeah, I had I think it's the Duskfield grenade, the one that has kind of that gravitational pull when you first throw it. Just had a top tree Dawnblade kind of just zoom right past and off the map. No chance. Just max momentum.
That's great.
Holly says, now that Stasis is out and we've had our time with it, in the opinion of the group, what would a Stasis crystal taste like?
Salty ice.
A blueberry snow cone. Ooh, salt though, yeah. Salty ice.
Like
Isn't that just water?
Taffy?
Salt water. Frozen ocean water.
Frozen ocean?
Yeah.
Something minerally, you know?
Yellow snow?
That's Warlocks.
My word.
No one here's a warlock main. I know this for a fact. No people.
Yeah. Definitely.
Hallie says, now that Stasis is out and we've had our time with it, I just read that one. My bad. Organic Ear says, what do you feel like the best advice is for a raid team that's never attempted a day one raid before?
Riot, please. Riot has the belt sitting next to him. I think out of all
on
people,
display.
Riot, please teach us how to not be bad.
It's having fun. It's such like a generic answer, but that's what that event is for, right? You know, it's a first time activity. It's completely unsolved. Nobody knows what they're doing. And so for me, like, that's why these day one raid experiences are just my absolute favorite part of Destiny. It's a group activity that I get to do with my friends in which we're problem solving together, basically. And like, I know some people like going out and doing escape rooms and whatnot. For me, I like doing blind raid encounters. Like, it's entirely worth any expansion for me. Every single time it comes out. It's what I look forward to the most.
So try not to yell at your friends and maybe.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, at the end of the day, we're playing a video game. Yeah, it's for our fun, our enjoyment.
It is way more fun when everybody's being positive and upbeat. When people start getting down on each other, then it just becomes a slog. And I think it ends up taking longer because nobody's communicating anymore because people are getting mad at each other inside the raid team. Like, it is way more fun if you take a lighthearted kind of approach to it and just try and keep it light, keep the jokes going, take breaks, you know?
Yes,
like maybe schedule breaks every 2 hours or something like that, you know, so you can stretch your legs and get something to drink, go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Don't pee yourself during the raid. Not worth it.
Yeah. Don't recommend a catheter.
Don't go that far. That's when you're taking it too seriously. Dial it back.
Yeah.
That's the point at which you know.
Yeah. But seriously, when you're having fun and everybody's like having a good time and enjoying themselves, then you're more likely to solve things quicker that way too, as opposed to just being salty and angry over things not working. So
yeah, because everybody also feels included. So everybody's opinions start coming out, and all of a sudden you got like this flow of ideas coming.
Mm-hmm.
And if all else fails, get yourself a Fran that you can aim your lectures at.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, if you do have one punching bag in the group, it's not a bad idea. You know, every once in a while you do have to throw down. Beyond the Light, Parth says, a question to Riot and other Warlock mains. Thoughts on the Shadebinder change, good, bad, or balanced?
So PvP perspective, mouse and keyboard Steam, perfectly balanced for me. I was a little bit nervous when I first read it. Just the triple hit on the melee specifically, the 20% speed reduction, the 45% or whatever it is, basically half the range, and then like the not freezing for very long. I was thinking like maybe 2 out of the 3, but after taking it out and testing it, like it's it's worse, but it's also totally acceptable. The way I play with that melee anyways is it's more of a defensive tool for me rather than offensive. It's like seeing people push me and run into me, and I'll be like pre-throwing it into doorways basically if I expect them to like chase after me if I'm trying to escape something. But rather than just like throwing it, I don't know, 25 meters, catching somebody, flossing in front of them, and then getting the kill, and then watching like the ice flare or whatever the aspect is and chaining to the next person and rinsing and repeating. The class is still really good. The super is still really good. Grenades are still solid. I think Glacier Grenade also catches the full freeze still. I don't think that was adjusted. It does, right? Even in PvP.
Yep.
So yeah, you have options still as a Shadebinder. Quite a strong class still.
Using that melee as a defensive tactic, I think, is probably like the best possible advice. Like, don't approach it as you're chasing someone down and trying to freeze them, and then, like you said, floss in front of them while they're frozen. Like, treat it as a anti-shotgun rusher.
Yeah, because when the expansion first launched and like the servers were kind of unstable, understandably so, but I was not having the the best of times, like trying to figure out how and when to use things. And as soon as I slowed down my Shadebinder gameplay, it's like, holy crap, you can really, this is a toolbox here.
Nice.
Like you have a lot that you can utilize. It's attrition. It's gaining
really
control.
Good advice. I feel like a lot of the time when I'm like trying something new, I try and push it to like, oh, I want to use it. I want to see what it's like. And that normally ends up being frustrated. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense that if you keep your abilities to where someone's trying to get on top of you and push you, then you kind of become this impenetrable fort of a warlock.
Right. Exactly. And nothing wrong with trying that out initially, but it's just like, you know, the 15th time trying to get it to do something different, that might be too far. Yeah, it's good still, I guess.
Fig Nuts McGee says, is it more accurate to say that the Warlock Stasis class flew too close to the sun and was melted, or the class was put on ice? I think it flew too close to the sun.
It flew too close to the top tree Dawnblade, and top tree Dawnblade was like, no, you stop that.
Nobody to the Face says, I've been thinking about how expansive the Destiny lore is, and seeing as we probably wouldn't be able to see the history in game, which historical Destiny lore point would you like to see made into a movie? Dredgen Yor, Iron Lords, maybe the travesty that is Clovis Bray.
Whew.
All three of those would make excellent movies or miniseries, even better, like an HBO mini 10 episode series.
Westworld.
Mm-hmm.
Westworld Destiny spinoff.
TV show would be amazing. Anime would be even better. Not because I like no. There's so much magic and space and fantastical stuff that I think that anime could show better than a standard TV show. Personally,
Then it would be a bunch of people with feelings and very young girls being very naked.
Maybe Zevor Wrath is a very young and naked girl. We don't know yet. She could be.
Let's hope not.
I think the Clovis Bray story, that could be
that lore is crazy.
Borderline horror thriller.
That'd be like Game of Thrones.
That's really interesting because Destiny is like a very accessible game, right? It doesn't have a strong age rating, but the Clovis Bray story is really dark. So maybe you could give the TV show like a really adult rating and go crazy. That'd be fun.
I think the Books of Sorrow too from D1 would be interesting to see. And then the Jaren Ward, Shin Malphur, like the Last Word duel, like that's pretty much a man with no name or whatever, like spaghetti western style could be done. I mean, that's borderline Mandalorian and the Destiny universe, but so.
Phones 101 says, place your bets now. What form do you think the final raid boss will look like? I'm thinking a Gundam-sized, dilapidated Exo. That would be dope.
That would be awesome, yeah.
It's going to be a giant
penguin.
It's going to be a giant shank. Almost 100%.
Mega Shank returns?
Mega Freezy Shank?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the penguin.
I mean, that's what all the penguins lead to is the boss penguin.
Yeah.
An exo penguin?
An exo penguin. That used to be your brother or something.
I think Clovis Bray. He's going to be the end boss.
What's he going to look like? What form does he take?
His mind in like an exo body.
I think it's going to have a head that drops down into multiple different bodies as you like go through different phases. First, it's like Spider Tank meets, Brig, Clovis Bray. Then it's like some other, I don't know. Yeah, the Gundam or something. And then it becomes
it's penguins.
Well, no, that's the third form. Turns into a penguin.
Yeah, seeing Clovis Bray would be great. I love that raids have been like more a part to do with the story in recent Destiny times. So much better than like, here's like, I don't know, some dude, kill him, he's bad, probably.
Yeah.
No. It's been good.
Mm-hmm. Inverted DJ says, these stasis changes were really quick, which is awesome and much appreciated. Do we credit this more to the changes they've made to the engine or just to the fact that these changes might not have been as tough to alter in short amount of time?
Mark knows where they straight up said it was because they vaulted so much stuff. I mean, he said that on Twitter. He said this is 100% thanks to the DCB and the people who, busted their butts to get this stuff out. So, I mean, it probably helps that there's way less stuff in the game they have to dig through to make these changes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Super Saiyan B says, do y'all think Destiny will be fun with only hunters and titans? I think it'd be more fun. And it smells better.
Yeah, not gonna be nauseous all the time. Wow.
Red Elephant 247 says, who else is extremely tired of stomp mechanics? Nobody, I guess.
I don't really.
Yeah,
It's not as bad, honestly, as it could have been. I mean, it was bad for a little bit of time where it was like really not fun. But now that I've kind of adapted to the meta a little bit, I'm actually really, really enjoying it. I think Stasis has opened up a whole new style of gameplay that we hadn't seen in Destiny yet. So I'm actually really liking it now. And if the trade-off for that is that I get frozen for a couple seconds a few times a game, then at this point in time, I think it's worth it to make that trade-off.
It feels like they toned down the insta kill damage from stomps. Back in the day, it almost felt like it was your health was basically dead from that stomp. And I think they toned that down a bit, allowed you to do some, melee, stay there with the sword a bit. So it does feel a little bit more balanced nowadays. It is annoying that it's the go-to, but what else are they going to do?
Well, if you don't have it, what are you going to do? Like, what is the alternative if you don't have something that pushes you away? Is everybody going to sit underneath it and falling guillotine in circles and just, cut its ankles out every single time it's a thing? I mean, I guess you could make it all like the meatball where it just floats and then you can't do that.
There you go. The meatball still has it's not a full-on stomp, but it's an AoE though.
It shoots, it like aims down and like pushes you.
It's
when all the ball things get angry, they start going getting real pissed off at you, and then it hurts.
They do. The servitors and all that. Hey, one thing we didn't talk about, and I was curious, is how do you guys feel about Gambit?
I don't feel much about it at all.
Yeah,
I doubt Briar's played Gambit, but I'm curious about what you guys think.
You haven't played Gambit, Briar?
No.
Oh no.
It's way less painful now than it was before. Like the matches go so fast, and that it used to be I looked at the thing and be like, play 3 Gambit matches, and I'd be like, oh god, here goes like 2.5 hours of my time. And now it's like, oh, they're like 5 to 7 minutes. Like they're faster than Crucible matches and strikes, so I don't mind it as much. But I think Gambit was a fun experience or experiment, but I don't think that it's going to end up being the third arm of Destiny like strikes and Crucible are. I think that at some point it needs to be evolved into something a little bit more.
Yeah, it sucks because like experiencing Gambit in a vacuum of everyone using the same thing, some of the guns kind of suck, was really fun. Like Gambit at that point was really, really fun. And then as soon as you get all of the like xenophages and, all the guns that have been incredibly strong for invading and all of that, it ends up being not as fun. So I think they could do something there to make it more fun, but with just people using whatever loadout they want and heavy weapons being so crazy for invading. I don't know. It's okay. I don't particularly like it or dislike it. I'm like, okay, play some Gambit, cool.
How do you feel?
Yeah, because I know the invading is really, really powerful, but for me, a lot of it's kind of just boiled down to whoever gets the primeval up first, just kind of wins. Like it's really hard to come back because the invader, at least during the primeval phase, so infrequently invades, and any like a group of 4, like even just 4 falling guillotines, the spin to win, but
definitely spin to win.
The dark ring. Yeah, I mean you are spinning to win, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just kind of doing the thing, and it's just hey, the boss is dead after like 2 specials each.
Titan bubble,
the 2 stack.
Spin to win.
I don't even think you need the Titan bubble, to be honest. It's really crazy.
It protects you from the invader.
True.
Yeah.
True.
It's like an invader. Nice. It's an invader prophylactic. Just they can't do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like, I'm enjoying Gambit. I don't know. I feel like invasion mechanics are still a little bit wonky. It's like, but it's weird too, right? Because it's like it's too strong during the moat collecting phase, but not enough to like disrupt boss DPS beyond your first invade, and then after that, it's like okay, 40 seconds to just get the kill, and it's doable.
Yeah,
in that 40 seconds. Like I don't think against any party of 4 I've ever gotten to invade more than one time against them once their prime came up.
Interesting. Yeah. I've been very vocal about Gambit kind of being like hot garbage in the past, and I've turned a corner with Gambit nowadays. I think it's actually way more chill to just play some games of Gambit because you're not forced to have to play the same team again if you win or lose, which honestly the 2 out of 3 thing was super annoying. Just why do they have that from the beginning? And then the getting rid of the armament mods, so there's no guaranteed heavy for those people, I think was a huge change as well. People obviously still get heavy, and they can still invade with Xenophage. And again, the heavy economy for invaders really does bust things. But outside of that, I think Gambit is in one of the best positions it's ever been with the speed of the match, the fact that it can just, you know, if you want to like speed through and get that primeval up, and like you're playing to try, you know, to be a tryhard on there, like great, you can, or you can just casually, you know, nuke the ads and get your bounties done and all that. I think it's in a considerably better place than it was. It does need some tuning on the invasions.
It's definitely in a better place.
Yeah, like I'd rather play Gambit than Crucible right now, personally. Like if it was comp or Gambit, I'm playing Gambit.
Lord Beerus says, I have a clan. It's small, but can I get a shout out, please? Xbox clan, the Crow's Memories. No, Lord Beerus, you can't. You can't name a clan after the guy who killed Cade and expect a shout out. That's not happening. Tristan says, do you guys believe the changes to the Penumbra blast range were warranted, given we now have to be even closer, making it even harder to actually throw the thing without it giving us a bog standard palm strike?
Sorry, what was the first half of that?
Do you guys believe the changes in the Penumbra blast range were warranted, given we now have to be even closer, making it harder to actually throw the thing without it giving us a bog standard palm strike?
We've kind of been talking about this the whole show.
Yeah. I think we've gone over this, Tristan. Rax says, Osiris has barely expressed emotion after the death of his century-long companion and conduit of immortality. How long would it take for each of you to get over it if Xivu Arath killed Tefty?
So
Who?
we haven't really... We haven't really heard from Osiris, have we? Really? He's mostly just sent us that little note being like, hey, chill on the crow thing. I understand. Just don't tell him. Keep it to yourself. But we haven't really heard from Osiris. Like, we haven't gone on like a mission with Osiris, or like, I don't know. I feel like he hasn't been in the game enough yet for me to be like, oh, he doesn't care about Segura at all. Or he's forgotten.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
He was kind of arrogant in Curse of Osiris, you know?
Yeah, super.
Like,
oh yeah,
maybe he would have just been like, oh well, I didn't die.
Remember
anyways.
the comic book they released for that too? He was kind of arrogant in that.
Maybe he's actually the only unbroken guardian ever who's never had to get resurrected before.
Interesting.
And so
he does also have Saint 14 to keep him warm. So
that's enviable.
Is that part of that HBO special?
I hope so. 6s and 7 says, what do all of your partners do for a living? Obviously not identifying info, just their field. What do your partners do for a living?
Memes is a warlock main.
Wow.
Really?
She gonna be okay with you just outing her like that? My wife is a research scientist.
Damn. That's where all Briar's trust fund baby money comes from.
Right.
My girlfriend is an epidemiologist for the Department of Health, so she is very busy at this current
I
point
bet
in
she
time.
is.
Wow.
Good Lord.
Jeez.
Damn. Fiance, just a warlock. A lot of void punches.
Tomo answers emails a lot. Lots of meetings.
He's a warlock main.
No. He's a hunter main.
Really though?
Yeah, really. He's not a tefty version of a hunter main. Okay.
Bree says, I know it's a week early, but wanted to ask a Thanksgiving question. What is your favorite traditional Thanksgiving food?
Stuffing. Always enjoyed that.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, that's not something you get like regularly either, is it?
Right. Yeah.
Not that I can think of, at least.
Yeah. Like we don't normally make. Oh, it's Wednesday. Let's make some stuffing. You know,
Right.
You could though.
you could, and it's easy.
And it's delicious.
It's fucking delicious.
What did you do? Just eat stuffing by itself, like with a fork? Just
I would
make some
absolutely
gravy.
do that. I believe I
I would do
have
that.
done that.
I've definitely done that.
Make some gravy on the
Leftovers.
stove.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
Mm-hmm.
But you are literally 5 minutes away from having stuffing right now. I really like. Me and a buddy have a tradition that right before Thanksgiving we go golfing at this place called Lyman Orchards. That's also an apple orchard. And after the round of golf, we go and buy pies for Thanksgiving at the orchard. And so actually, that is one of my favorite foods: is apple pie, fresh apple pie from Lyman Orchards.
Nice. That sounds delicious.
That sounds great.
Stuffed prior.
Chat is going crazy over some stuff, Brian.
Guys, it hurts when you say that. You know that, right?
I'm giving thanks to
'Cause
the
you're so
Brian.
stuffed.
Wayne says, would you rather see the world in reverse, left is right, east is west, or hear the world in reverse, all sound and spoken words are heard backwards?
Oh, geez.
I would have my own language. I could teach people my language, my backwards language.
I think you'd just get used to it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like, it'd take a bit, but I
Yeah.
think you'd get used to it. You could still speak in forward, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
It's just every time you think something's on the left, it's actually on the right. You
No,
know?
no. You get to choose between that or hear everything backward.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My bad.
I think seeing everything in reverse actually wouldn't be that inconvenient either, because you just get used to it.
Yeah, your brain.
Your left would just be your right, and your right would just be your left, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it wouldn't be that bad.
What if in actuality, that's how it is right now? You just don't know it.
Deep thoughts. Let's move on.
Have you ever pondered the millisecond delay between your eyes and your hands and your brain?
Yes.
I have a no lag setup. Send Coffee says, what were the 12 labors you had to perform to become Mercules? Did any of them involve beating Kevin Sorbo in arm wrestling?
No, sadly.
Sadly, it's right.
Just make a lot of spreadsheets, write a lot of words, argue with a lot of people on Reddit, and that pretty much is all you have to do. Anyone can be Mercules, right? You just have to put on the mask.
Talga Hurst says, is Elon Musk our timeline's Clovis Bray?
No.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
No.
If
I don't
he goes
think-
to Mars, he might be.
I think it's Mark Zuckerberg.
That fits more with the evil headcanon part of that.
But he's
Well,
like not
he's
as
like a robot.
arrogant. Well, at
think-
least as far as we can tell.
Zuckerberg?
Isn't
I mean,
Clovis
Zuckerberg
Bray-
looks like a robot already.
He does.
He's already an exo. He's just
Yeah.
a badly made one, and he looks
Yeah.
like
They're working on the skin grafting. It's not quite there yet.
he's the only human being that I've seen that is in the uncanny valley, despite actually being
He's emotionless male companion bot.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, Elon Musk says some dumb stuff sometimes, but I don't think he's evil, right?
Yet to be seen.
Yeah, that's true. He could be fooling us all.
I don't know what he's doing in space.
Like Clovis Bray is evil, right? Like evil.
Oh, he's like evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dreadnought says, if a centaur had a penis, where would it be located? I think about this all the time, and I think it's actually going to be where the horse penis is located. Because if you look at a centaur, the waist, it turns into horse at the waist, above the penis, right? So the reproductive stuff is all horse.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But good question. I think about that all the time, too.
It's the same with a mermaid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Scientifically proven, I believe.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Drobe Equinox says, would you rather be pen blind or pencil blind? This is a known and well-established phenomenon where the world is either seen drawn in pencil or drawn in pen. Keep up the tubular work.
What?
This is a real thing?
Really?
Like you see the world as like it's drawn in pencil or pen?
Is that not just colorblind, but like different shades?
I think that would just be like not seeing colorblind. This is like they actually are seeing things translated to like a pencil,
like a pen drawing or a pencil drawing. Yeah,
colored pencils.
Drawing,
thinking like outlines of things.
Yeah. It's like having that filter on that turns everything into like a sketch.
Yeah, I mean the eyes are pretty crazy when they can translate.
Yeah.
Well, your brain makes up like most of what you see, so.
I'd rather be pencil blind because I feel like it's easier to get like shades of gray.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Also, I like sharpening pencils. There's something very satisfying about it.
Somehow this relates to seeing all things in pencil.
Yeah,
That's
what it is. Yeah.
Work. Yeah, some beautiful sketch work.
There's a pencil artist in your eye that's always like sharpening, then drawing as you're watching.
Yeah. I even like the feel of like writing with a pencil, like the scratching of it. I don't use pens at all. I always use a pencil, except like on legal documents.
Mm-hmm.
Dayman says, would you rather have nipples on your fingertips or on your toe tips?
Good question.
Why?
Do these nipples provide milk?
Yes.
Then I think I want them on my fingertips.
For convenience?
Drink.
Well, nobody's going to want to drink from my toes.
What about when you're signing documents with your pencil?
Are you sure no one wants to drink from someone's toes?
No one wants to drink from my toes.
Are you sure?
Although the Crocs would make it easier. They are already perforated. The milk would just flow right out.
Quick release.
Mm-hmm.
Toes, I think.
Yeah. Toes.
Toes.
I'm gonna go with
I don't
fingers.
know that I want to switch questions with you guys on firing range anymore. If we do a double header next week.
You thought I was joking, huh? About the questions that we get.
Hero79 says, after last week's question took a surprisingly dark turn, I've dipped into questions for kids this week.
Oh, no.
Would you rather live in a treehouse or a bouncy castle?
Treehouse.
Treehouse. Yeah.
Imagine the views, being in nature. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Swiss Family
Perfect
Robinson.
world would have the bouncy castle under the treehouse, and that was your exit. Right? You just jump out and land in a bouncy castle.
Sounds good.
That
I'd be
does
nervous
cool.
about the one day you're groggy though, and you kind of land wrong, and then smack your head into
right up.
something.
Yeah, that could be bad. But yeah, definitely treehouse.
Treehouse.
Definitely treehouse.
Really, like Swiss Family Robinson it up, you know? Mr. Goodbye says, best Christmas/holiday beer.
I don't know any holiday brands.
Yeah, being gluten free, I'm unqualified for this question.
Not liking beer, also unqualified.
I don't really like seasonal beers. I guess there's like the Sam Adams Winter Lager, which I guess is like kind of a seasonal beer, but I pretty much drink Yingling year round. So
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good go-to beer. It's not expensive. It tastes delicious. It comes in cans, so it's portable.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one.
I like Obi's
be
answer
portable.
of anything that gets you pissed. I
Yeah.
like them. That's good.
How about like a cranberry lambic? That would be a good seasonal beer, right? Got a little cranberry. It's a little tart. Got high alcohol content
Sounds
to deal with
good.
your family. I like it.
In 2020, though, what family? What are you talking about?
True. What am I going to be doing? I'm just going to sit here and just eat more food than normal, I guess.
Entire turkey to myself.
The Mohegan 9 says, would you rather give up eating potatoes or pork?
Well, that's easy for me, so I won't even answer.
Okay.
Think about it.
I'd much rather give up potatoes, I think. I mean, that would suck to not have French fries anymore, but I eat a lot of barbecue, and pork is a staple of barbecue, so I'd be very sad if I could no longer eat.
No mashed potatoes, no potato skins, no French
Yeah,
fries.
those are kinda-
Potato chips.
Those
Yeah,
are
but
kind of
you-
all
you get
unhealthy
corn
things
chips.
anyways. I feel like I'd be healthier if I were to cut all those things out of my life by force.
Yeah.
Be forced to have barbecue
right.
all the time.
Yeah, probably pork for me. I eat a lot of potato chips. Here and
Yeah?
there. A good amount, yeah. Baked
I love
potatoes,
potatoes.
just easy to do. Do sweet potatoes count?
Yeah.
Probably, right?
Yeah, it's
So, yeah,
all
definitely pork.
potatoes.
Yeah.
All potatoes. Wow, that's a lot.
Every potato. Baked potatoes,
There's a lot of varieties.
hash
Potatoes.
browns.
Mhm.
I think I give up potatoes, and I don't even think I miss it that much. Like French fries, I'm over. I never
madman.
really liked potato chips. I would miss mashed potatoes, I guess, but there's other stuff that can replace it.
You're over French fries?
I am way over French fries.
I don't buy this at
Curly.
all. I think this is straight BS.
I don't even like if there is another option with my meal besides French fries, I will almost always choose it.
What kind of French fries are you getting?
I'm not into French fries, man. It's just not my thing. If I get French fries, they're basically a vehicle for ketchup.
Briar drinks a lot of ketchup.
Yeah.
I do like ketchup.
This is strange.
I like ketchup.
I loved French fries until I took a trip to London and Ireland. It was a 2-week trip, and I shit you not, every meal we had came with French fries. Every fucking meal. We went to a goddamn Italian restaurant, and it came with French fries.
Italian fries.
Yeah, Italian.
Sure. And like that was in like spring of 2001, and ever since then I have not wanted French fries.
2001? You've gone nearly 20
Wow.
years not liking French fries?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Guess I know what we're sending Briar for Christmas.
It's going to be a Spudmas. Spudmas for Briar.
Zachary Richard says, oh, this is the last question of the night. Zachary Richard says, what's your favorite kind of apple? Green, red, yellow, or Applebee's?
Definitely not Applebee's.
Yeah, their French fries are not that great.
We actually discussed this last week with
Yeah,
Patrick,
that's right.
where he was talking about Cosmic Crisp apple. I
Yeah.
am going to say also, yes, Cosmic Crisp apple. Those apples are amazing.
I haven't had this apple yet.
Yeah,
You
and
need
I am
to,
predisposed to
immediately.
disagreeing with Patrick.
On account of the
Ever since he
crawdad
got a
situation.
girlfriend, he's very agreeable. It's been good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I did a video today about the Sony PlayStation headset, and I did like a mic test, and somebody in the comments said, "This microphone makes you sound like Holtzman."
That's amazing.
Right? I'm thinking about keeping the headset now. All right, that's it. That's all the questions.
Nice. We did the questions.
It's all the apples.
We killed it.
Wow.
All the apples.
We did.
We learned that
Yeah,
Briar
we only had
hates
one
French
dick
fries.
question.
No dick
One,
questions?
a single one. And
Yeah.
only one nipple question.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Weird.
going on? What's with these questions, guys?
People are busy playing Destiny. It's a slow time.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Please give me less Destiny specific questions and more life.
French fry related
Related
questions.
Yes.
Next week, if
French
we could
fry
get
related.
if we get some questions asking about when you first realized French fries were fantastic in your life, that type of thing, that'd be great. Next week.
Or what type of French fries go best with Briar? Or what type
Yeah.
of potato side is best with Briar?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great. Well, thank you very much for watching and hanging out tonight. We really appreciate it. Shout out to our Patreons that support the show and also our Twitch subs who sub live. And thank you very much, guys. We really appreciate it. Riot, where can people find you?
So yeah, I'm T1Riot on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Definitely primarily Twitch at this point. The other two are hibernating at the moment. So may eventually wake those two channels up. But yeah, T1Riot on Twitch.
Cool. And Mercules?
I'm Mercules904 on Twitter. And you can also find me at the Destiny Massive Breakdowns podcast, which is wherever fine podcasts are found. So Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, all those other things. And we generally record Thursday night, which I'm going to do after this. And then we release Friday morning. So check it out.
How often do you get nipple on finger questions in that podcast?
Almost never.
Almost. There's a chance.
Yeah. I will not rule it out as a possibility, but yeah. Almost.
Where do I send questions for the podcast?
This question comes from Not Briar Rabbit.
We're no longer accepting submissions for this week's episode.
Damn it.
Awesome.
Watts?
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me on other fine podcasts such as Side Quests, where Tefty, Watts, and Eric's all take on the latest gaming news and talk about other things besides Destiny. We also do have the Retro Slot podcast now, where we're talking about retro video games with Jay Sniperton. We also had Mega Magwitch on this week, which is a really fun show. And you can catch Mercules also on the Firing Range podcast with Fallout. Who else is on there? Camby Cakes.
And
Drewski.
And Cool Guy.
Cool Guy.
It's
a really great group of people.
Yeah, if you like your Destiny talk to be serious, that's probably the show for you.
And informative, useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, useful. That's nice.
We also don't really get nipple or dick questions on that podcast.
So there's room for improvement.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's the show. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, I'm Tefty Teft, by the way. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. And I stream as well, twitch.tv/TeftyTeft. I've been playing a lot of Destiny. Looking forward to playing Demon's Souls
Playing a lot of Warlock and a Gambit.
I have been. I'm a new Teft. New Teft has arisen. I've been resurrected from my filthy hunter lifestyle. Not really, though. It's still Hunter main. Also, Memes and I released a new single, our first single for 2020. Haven't released any new music this year, and we finally did. So if you search Tefty Memes, you'll see a new track called In the Night, and that just came out today, which is really cool. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah. That's the show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good one.